Funny how we listen to ourselves quite often all day, and the irony is we don't listen to ourselves when the stakes are high. When you're in the most critical moments, for some reason, you're really not trusting yourself. You're like gathering data, you need validation, you need all this other stuff, and I don't know why, but for some reason, when shit gets critical and the stakes are high, we always find a reason not to listen to ourselves. At least I don't, even though I make decisions for myself all day. You know what to do. You're right. I do know what to do, and I'm going to do it. We're talking about recovery, giving yourself permission to do something like take time, like say, take a year. And to take a year, to take a year in our society feels like an eternity. You know, it kind of feels extra or it feels like luxurious. I don't know, but is it too much to ask? And I don't think so. I guess it could depend, but the bottom line is everybody in this world deserves, or you deserve as much space and time as you need, and probably more than you think, to get to the place where you need to get to in order to start living again. So, a couple weeks ago was a year since I haven't had a seizure. And when my seizure stopped, I intentionally gave myself a year because I generally just rush back into things, and that hasn't been working for me for like decades. And I think a year is just about right. And that's also just like sort of the first step. Like a year is, I think, getting back to like a healthy baseline. Therefore, you still got a little bit of work to do. Also, this wasn't completely self-generated. I'm not a superhuman, and I'm insecure a bit. You know, I was saying to myself, like, well, this isn't very humble. That's too much. This is too much time. You need to get back on the horse, etc. This time I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm taking my time. So when I do get back, I'll make sure it's sustainable. Right. So my friend Soren, I was talking to him about a year ago, and he sort of like gave me permission to do this. He didn't realize it. I don't even know what we were talking about at the time, but he did mention something like a year. And so I held on to that. And so after I was recovering, during my recovery, like, you know, month goes by, 2 months goes by, 3 months goes by, no seizures. You start to think you're okay. But I kept reminding myself week after week, month after month, no, just keep going. Give yourself a year. And I'm really glad I did that because, you know, after about 6 months, I'm like, I'm ready to go. And after 8 months, I'm looking back and I'm thinking to myself, geez, after 6 months, you thought you were ready to go, but you've come 8 more weeks, you've come so much further. I was really glad I did that. You know, and I'm glad I stuck to my word. My other buddy, Ron, he would say things like, hey, man, you know what to do. And he would say these things in passing. And I don't think he was aware of the gravity of what he was saying, because eventually it dawned on me. And I was like, you know what? If anyone knows what to do right now, it's me. And I do know what to do. And that sort of like combination of like giving me permission to take the time and giving me that little bit of confidence, like just stick with it. You know what to do. Really helped me out. And I think it's important to realize that these passing remarks we make to people like our friends, you know, we don't realize how impactful they are. And I don't think our friends realize just how impactful these passing remarks are and how they can affect us so deeply and so much, really, like in the hardest parts of our lives.